We heavily relied on lookup tables to categorize our records in tables throughout the semester. But one thing we didn't do really is categorize categories. In other words, where we could have a category relationship to another table that is in a relationship where it provides a category to a table. Um, and that's not uncommon for categories to have what are basically called subcategories in them. Do an example of this, and this is one too where uh, I tried to put together some tables that you might be able to reuse if you want to, um, especially if you're doing something where you want to record states or regions of countries or something like that. Okay, but anyway, this one's for the United States um, postal system, and it's the regions that they take care of. So you could do the same kind of thing with countries and regions or something like that. But I'm going to do regions, and then those regions will each have a status. In other words, what type of the status is really what type of region are they. So I've got a table here. Um, it's called USPS region statuses, and if I look at that, it looks like just our typical our typical category relationship table, or I should say, I'm sorry, our typical lookup table. In fact, I can look at that in its lookup form if you want to do it that way. Um, you'll see pretty similar to what we've done all along. I've got just four statuses here. They're either an admitted state in the United States, or they're a federal district, or they're a freely associated state, or they're an insular area. And I want to order that. I mean, most of the regions are admitted states. So I'm going to have them. I'm going to have that one come up first in the order when I list it, and then federal district, and then insular area, and then a freely associated state. So then I've got another lookup table that would be used for a main table. So in fact, I even have a couple test subject tables that we use. This one that where I'm going to bring all the regions back, and then somewhere I just have the states and the District of Columbia. So if you want to look at one of those, I'll show you that. But here's a design, and it's got basically the foreign key field, which would be the category relationship, right? So I'll show you that in the relationship window if you want to see it. So there's the one for status and region. And if I want to put that on the all region table, there it is, like that. Okay. Could also put it. I should actually have it on the statuses table too. So let me show that one too. How come I'm not seeing that table? That's weird. Okay, let's go like this. For some reason, that wasn't showing up when I did a show all. But anyway, that should have the same kind of relationship, a category relationship. Okay, so now we're all set on that. I'll save that right away so I don't forget to do that. Close that down. Didn't mean to do that. Close that window down. I'm going to do a compact and repair while I'm at it. All right. So again, I show you the status. Now let's look at the lookup table for the region. You're going to see that's a little bit different than what we've seen in the past. Okay, I've actually added some additional fields in here. And what did I add? I added the category relationship for this one. And that's what we showed here. If we go back up to the relationship window, you'll see that this region category, okay, has it itself is categorized by the status, or I could have said type really here, but it's fine. Status, that's good enough. The status of the region. So let's go back here now, and then so you see that we've got that. It isn't our typical where we just have the stars and all that. We have another field in here that is the foreign key field from the other relationship. So when I built that form, then the lookup form for that one, you'll see it actually has another control in it to put that status in there too. So you see that how that works. I can click that, and There you got that one, and you can do whatever you want to it, and it categorizes that. It basically, this is the super category, admitted state, and this is the subcategory, the particular region. So, and that's nice. Okay, you think about that later on. I could say, what are all my admitted states, and if I made a report about where I grouped admitted states, and then I could have each one of these as subcategories on them. Maybe they will have records then in these tables that will be associated with them. So I could have a group and a subgroup, and then the records that are associated with it. So let's look at how that works now when I set it up here. I go into regions, and here I went all regions. So there again, it's just putting the foreign key that will connect basically that UPS regions to it. And if I look at that in normal mode, you'll see there I got this USPS region, United States Postal Service regions. So here's the code. Okay, and then here's I could have a description, but there's the name right there, the name of it. So you got a code and a name. So that's kind of interesting. I got a code and a name. I added another field to have name on this one. So instead of just saying category, I have a USPS code and a name. Beside having a primary key that you're not seeing this, obviously that's bound here, and then the category. And you can see here, there's a lot more on here. There's not just the states. There's this. Here's our freely associated state, the Federated State of Micronesia, American Samoa. Um, there's the District of Columbia. Guam is an insular area. So we got different kinds of stuff in here. And I could bring up that form and manage that, the code in the region, that. This basically, either one of these could have been my category, but I decided to have them both in here, so I just added a field to put that in and made them both required. And then, of course, the states on that, and there I could open that one. So that's kind of interesting. I've got this lookup open, and I got this lookup open. I could do that all from here. I could go and open up the lookup that's got the values that are sending there, and I can have lookup from here that's sending values to categorize it with a super category. That's nice. Now, another thing I never showed you really is, what if I don't want to bring back everything from a lookup table? Maybe there's only certain things. Maybe I just want to have the admitted states and the District of Columbia. All right. Well, I know from looking at my table, when I go into this table right here, that the status is for a federal district, the record identifier is 1, and for an admitted state, it's 4. So I have to remember those 1 and 4. Is I'm going to limit what I bring back to those that actually have that either 1 or 4 as the super category. Remember, we're bounding the primary key. We won't be able to know. We won't be able to do it by saying the name of the super classification, the status. So I got this one now where I'm going to have just DC states. So I'm going to go and look at its foreign key and look at its lookup, and I'm going to close this down so you can see more of this, and it's a big one, right? So better to look at this actually as a query grid, and you can see in here I actually placed both those lookups in there showing their link, and you can do an inner join here because they all have value. There's a value for stat region and a value for status for each combination. Okay, so it's not like a left outer join or anything like that. But I'm going to store the record identifier when I on the foreign key field. I'm going to store the record identifier that comes from the region. I want to show from the region its code. I want to show from the region its name, and that's category. Okay, it was category in that table. See that right here? So I'm going to put this identifier on the front of it to give it a caption that says name. And then same thing, the description, because it's got this star dash description. I'm going to give a description tag or description caption on it. And then I'm going to have the category from the other table in here. All right. Now, um, I should probably put a tag on that too. I wonder how that looks. Let's see. Yeah, see, it came out category. I should have actually done this. Let me fix that while I'm there. Let's call it status. Okay. In fact, if you want to be really detailed about this, you could even put a code on front of this one. I think that would work. All right. I noticed this. Yeah, I remember this. I realized a long time ago that when I do this, I have to actually show that as uh, a reference to the field, but I also have to prefix it with a blank. That is just two quotation marks that are next to each other with an ampersand. I don't know why I have to do that. Remember, it has something to do with otherwise it won't override the caption. So let me fix that right away while I'm here. Okay, I want that. Make sure I have a space there, and I need to make sure I have my square bracket and the square bracket. Sorry, I should have checked this out before I did this, but it's not that big a deal. You can wait a few seconds. Description, same thing. Square bracket, and then status, same thing. Phew. Did I miss a parenthesis somewhere? Oh yeah, I got a curly bracket there. I'm in a square bracket, and then oops, cut off the T there. Don't want to do that. Square bracket T, and that's it. Now those should all be formatted correctly. Let me just make sure. I'm going to run it really quick. Where is it? Specific could not be referred to. Huh. Why not? Oh, you know why? Because there's more than one description in here. Same thing with the category. Yeah, I knocked out the table name. All right, so I got to put the table name in there too. Oh, that's not good. Eh, so we have to do a little bit more typing. Sorry about this. UPS, let's see. Star, parentheses, should be parentheses, star, USPC region, closing parentheses, star status. Yeah, a little bit of typing, but that's okay. It keeps me from getting in trouble. At least I know what I'm referring to now. Okay, I think I wanted to there, right? Actually, I want that whole thing. That's right, because it's the reference to the table. Okay, and now I'll put that right here. And I think that one's done now. And I should do it over here too, since this one has it, and that's coming from this one. So from the other table, copy that one's over. Okay, save it, run it. Is it working? Yes, it is. Okay, so I got a record identifier, my code, my name, description, and the status rather. All right, that's good. Let me go back really quick, and I want to make sure now you've got this thing that if they were to put it in some other order, they could have a description on it. That's what that thing takes care of. Then it does an ascending on the category. Notice those aren't shown. We saw that when we just ran it. Okay, but those two are there for sorting. And then there's this one. What is this? This is what's going limited to be those that had the status of admitted state or District of Columbia. Remember, District of Columbia. I'm sorry, a federal district. Federal district was a 1, and admitted state was 4. So I say that if they're either 1 or 4, yep, you want to bring those back. And that's why right now when I look at this, I only see the admitted states and the federal district, District of Columbia. There's only one in there, obviously, the District of Columbia. So that's good. That's how I actually build that query to do that. Everything else works the same as it does normally. And I go over here and do this now, and I hit the drop down, and you only see the admitted states and the federal district. So even though there's a lot more records that are in this table, we're only seeing the ones that actually had the status of admitted state or federal district, and that's nice. That's exactly what I would use this probably more because unless the postal service obviously cares about all those other things it has to take care of, but maybe I'm doing something where I'm only expecting people from the continental United States and Alaska and Hawaii to give me something, and then this would take care of that. So just again, uh, right now I kind of demonstrated two concepts. One of having a category with a subcategory. I had status with a subcategory of a region, and also how to constrain the values that are in a lookup field. Uh, to be only certain ones. I was able to, through a criteria on the query, limit the number of possible choices that can be done here. So that's that example. We'll move on to the next one.